Yeah, they're coming on right now.
Hello and welcome to the APTA's Grand Prix Series, the Chicago Charities, sponsored by the APTA national sponsors Viking, Fusion and Upswing Health. I'm Jerry Vian, along with Mark Fischel, bringing you the women's final between the number 2 seeds Spencer Caravaggio and Sandy Cvetkovic against the number 1 seeds Chelsea Mittal and Alison Morgan. And Mark, this has all the makings of a fabulous final.
Bang, bang, paddle, Jerry. Let's introduce our players. Caravaggio is in the lower right-hand corner of the screen with her orange hat, and her partner Sandy Cvetkovic in the blue top, and she is hitting the ball at Chelsea Mittal, who is in the black with shorts, and her partner Alison Morgan in the long sleeves and the only one on the court with long pants.
I wonder how long that'll last. I think the temperature is climbing into the 60s there.
So Jerry, why don't we take a look at the Viking keys to victory?
Yes, so we watched them in the semi-final, Caravaggio and Cvetkovic, so they need to stay in the moment and avoid Mittal's backhand. I mean, that's where the firepower is. Mittal loves to drive sequential backhand drives, and they've just got to keep the ball out of that part of the court. And I also think if they can lob Mittal back, her overhead sometimes tends to land short around the service line, and that's going to give them the opportunity to attack.
Jerry, I just spoke with the National Weather Service in Glencoe, Illinois, and they tell me it's 66.3 degrees there.
Well, thank you for that detail, Mark. I can really appreciate that level that you go to paint the picture for us. So obviously the balls will be flying. That's pretty warm. All right, Mittal and Morgan. I think they've got to freeze Caravaggio out. She's flowing, she's the firepower, and we did notice later in that part of the match that Cvetkovic was getting a little bit tight and a little bit nervous. So I also need to change the serving formations. They can't get beat on that return to serve, so switch it up and let Morgan flow. You know, Alison Morgan, her footwork is so good. And little steps, little adjustment steps, her screenplay is great, and she can generate, I think, a lot more offensive plays off of her screenplay. She's tricky. She can hold the ball, more so than off the deck. She doesn't tend to have the big shots off the deck like her partner Mittal does, but man, if she gets moving and she gets flowing, her mindset, she's just very creative. It's like, out of the 4 players there, I think she's got the most all-rounded game.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's clearly the force on the court.
Why don't we just take a quick look at the draw so we can just see their path? We're watching. Break, but they didn't have like a 3-set grinding semi-final to worry about rest. So scoring, Mark, I think we're back to regular scoring. We've been using the no ad on the second deuce and a 10-point tiebreak. But for the final, we go back to regular scoring, and we'll be playing out the 3rd set.
And I should report that one of our very astute watchers and paddle players, Jess Guillot, suggests that she thinks that the card in the match, that when Chelsea plays well, they're going to be tough to beat. But if she starts driving too many balls, hitting too many overheads, that's when they could struggle.
And you can see there's just a small crowd here. I mean, normally this place would be packed. Chicago, league players and the club players, they really support the Chicago Charities, but due to the COVID, we've got restrictions. So far, down to we do not have umpires for the matches because it's one less person that needs to be here and helping with the ladder and helping everybody get into the chair. But fortunately, we do have a scorekeeper that, as you can see, speaking to Sandy Cvetkovic right there. So we'll be able to hear the score.
Yes.
And the guys are playing at other clubs the earlier round, so they will be coming back to the Glenview Club once the women's final is over. And we'll be picking up with the men's quarterfinals and semifinals later today. So players are just taking their last few warm-up serves. Chelsea Middle's on the bottom right-hand side of your screen in all black.
And for fans of the live stream, that's Chelsea Middle Nee Nuslak, two-time national finalist with Mary Doughton. What do you think, Jerry?
Who am I favouring?
Yep.
I think Morgan Middle. I think they've got more experience and more. The combination is right, the mixture is right, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just not sure. I haven't seen Sandy Cvetkovic play that much recently, so I just don't know how much tournament, even though they did win the tournament Lake Forest 2 weeks ago. That's the only match that I've known that she's been competing in, and I'm just not sure about the nerves holding up.
Yeah, Alison Morgan is just a big-time player in my opinion, and I think they're big favorites in this match.
And Spencer Caravaggio is playing just free. I mean, she has nothing to lose. She's the new kid on the block. Just from 2 weeks ago when we watched her play to this week, you can see that different parts of her game have improved. I am told, that she has been working hard on her game over the summer. So I think she's going to be one to keep our eye on.
She is super talented. I agree with that.
She's powerful off of both sides. She's got a good serve, good volley. She's got the roller. She needs to find more depth on her overheads, but she can hit that roller. We saw a couple of big rollers into the ad side up by the singles line, 2 feet up from the baseline, which is it handcuffs that ad court player. So, if she keeps hitting more of that, she's going to be tough. I also like her footwork. I hope we get to highlight that. I mean, she gets back well for those deep lobs. She keeps her feet, under her, gets behind the ball and really can let that ball drop low to her paddle, which is the key to being able to control the placement of your overhead. When you're that far back on the net,
there you go.
you want to be able to identify the weak spot or the safe spot on the court to get out of trouble, and her footwork allows her to do that.
Well, the other thing, she could really benefit with about a half hour on the court with you, Jerry, because I don't think that she sees the court quite yet.
I think she's still making that. Thank you for the compliment, Mark. But I think she's still making that transition from tennis. She's still, like you said, she's still playing a little bit of mini tennis, and that's that's kind of like the last piece that comes. Is just because you have a ball that you could drive, you shouldn't always drive it. Just making those shot selections and getting into more of the joy of building the point and seeing how to dismantle your opponents. I mean, that's the fun. It's going to be interesting to see the speed of play, because I think if you put a stopwatch on Mittal and Caravaggio, It'll be a tough call with who's going to play the fastest.
So our scorekeeper today, Jerry, is Pat Layden.
Oh, good.
And here we go. Caravaggio to serve, to Chelsea Mittal to start.
I think Pat's one of our umpires from Chicago.
And there's an example of what Jess Gio was talking about, where you see Chelsea driving that backhand from fairly deep in the court, fairly low ball. That's where she's got to be really judicious in her decision making.
It's
Can we just
very
replay what
hard. It's very, very hard for Mittal not to drive a backhand no matter where.
Even though that one was about ankle high?
Look, it's just what she loves to do. And it's early in the match. I'm sure she wants to know that she's got that shot. Even though you're correct. Not the right ball.
Sloppy miss
hit
from
there.
Cvetkovic. And we're going to keep a close eye on her, Jerry, because, well, Mittal is the wild card on this side of the net. Clearly, Cvetkovic is on the other side.
Caravaggio's got a great serve, Mark.
Yes, she does. Very fluid motion, as we talked about in the semis. And there's some of that athleticism from Mittal.
Okay, we could keep a running check on that play. It's that return a serve or that first backhand drive and then coming in behind it with a blitz from Mittal. The 1-2 combination. That is her favorite play.
Great cover by Morgan behind Mittal there. It's interesting, Jerry. A few years back, Mittal was like the new kid in the block, very talented, made back-to-back nationals, and then just her game doesn't seem to have evolved so much from that point. You see anything that she does or doesn't do that she could do better?
Well, yes. I mean, she relies so much on, wins so many points quickly on that combination play. And she's not a teaching professional, so I think she only plays league play. Doesn't play a tremendous amount of the other Grand Prix tournaments. I mean, we see her at Nationals and President's Cup. And I think if she was in a situation where she really just had to build the point more, she would see more options open up.
The other factor is that the women's game has really evolved in the last 5 or 6 years, as you've seen more and more of the foreign pros come in, similar to what the guys' game did, maybe 5, 6 years behind it. Okay, so that's Alison Morgan to serve. Spencer Caravaggio. I do like Caravaggio. Just tight in the court, a.k.a. Steve DeRose, and steals time from you.
Yeah, she's got good hands. Beautiful volley by Alison Morgan. She stays square to the angle of the ball. 30 love. And just, you can hear the difference. I commented before when she was playing, you can hear the difference between the drive that's coming at her and how she diffuses the pace. there's a distinct sound that's quieter than the drive that's coming at her. And that allows her to control where she places the ball.
That was a huge forehand there from Caravaggio. This great volley, that's exactly the way you were talking about.
Yeah, and that was with pressure, with Caravaggio moving in forward, looking for the blitz.
There you see a little bit of Caravaggio's inexperience, is that Nick came out right at her and she wasn't really prepared to hit it. Tough ball, though. Oh, tags Mittal with a wild forehand. But you can kind of see the play evolving early, Jerry, where the Caravaggio forehand is going to have to keep him in the match. I mean, that's where all the offense is coming from. And that's the spot that Mittal and Morgan are going to have to avoid. Be interesting to see if they go I formation or Australia next time they serve to her.
Yep. Beautiful lob down the line.
Determine who win and who lose matches. I mean, they have a game point. You just have to play those game points better. You can't give them away. Really wasn't under a lot of pressure with that overhead. Just popped it long. Okay, Sandy Cvetkovic to serve. Oh, swing and a miss from Mittal.
That was a play.
Great backup.
The look at the depth of that lob from Mittal. Here we were just saying drive, 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 and she just hit a fabulous lob that pulled Caravaggio behind Cvetkovic.
Miguel Cobbs incidentally gets those himself. He doesn't rely on his partner.
Beautiful serve. We saw Cvetkovic struggle a little bit with her serve in the semi-final, so that was a nice serve.
Yeah, as we talked about in our keys to victory, her emotional state is going to be really critical to how this match plays out.
You got to close the net. Mittal's coming at you with a two-handed backhand short. You have got to close the net and plug up those holes.
This is a rare screen error from Allison Morgan. You won't see too many of those. Cvetkovic's faults tend to come in bunches. She's got a very long motion. Requires a lot of timing. I mean, it's very fluid and pretty. Probably very effective in the tennis court, but not so much in paddle.
You see some of the women are switching over to that side arm serve.
And there we saw the serve, the faults in bunches as she faults twice.
You know, it's tough because you really don't want too many to think about too many things in the match. You know, a lot of players have adapted that low and go ball toss just to keep it simple. But she really needs to get her focus. Just forget about that. Forget about those last two serves. Hit some of those big forehands that she's known for. Okay, Chelsea Mittal serving.
Love.
Nice return of serve.
15 all.
When Cvetkovic is moving forward on that forehand, she can really get the ball to dip down low, going in on that 45-degree angle.
Forehand is such a beautiful shot.
Oh, smart play by Morgan and Mittal there. You see them giving up the net as
30-15.
Caravaggio was moving forward. There was nowhere for them to be able to close the net, and so smart play to give it up.
That's where you have to see more of an adjustment from Mittal and Morgan.
30 all.
Cvetkovic's best play is her return to serve, and they can't lose points there.
Now, let's take a look at the net positioning of Morgan and Mittal here.
$30-40.
And Mittal needed to close the net with just her backhand volley. So break point opportunity here. Cvetkovic. That's the play.
Good move. Just missed the volley.
Score is deuce.
That's a good, smart overhead from Morgan. She's deep in the court. You want to make Cvetkovic beat you off the wires, not off the deck.
Yeah, but look at this
Oh,
gap.
great backhand
Wow.
there.
Wow. Yep.
Too much movement at the net for your taste,
Too
Jerry
much.
Beyond.
Oh my God. It was just, I love that angle from behind because you could really see the net positioning. And what Mittal and Morgan is, they did that to themselves. They kept going from left, right, left, right. Gave the opportunity.
Game.
Yep, and they have
Caravaggio,
found
Cvetkovic
Mittal's
scores 2-all.
forehand volley. Cvetkovic is, she likes that slice backhand, Mark.
Yeah, she hits a lot of them.
Very effective. I guess it's sitting up, you know, with the warm weather again, the ball sitting up so she can really come under the ball. 2-all.
Gives you a real sense of her
Caravaggio
tennis
serving.
skills.
Yeah. Okay, Caravaggio's calling the switch and putting herself on the left. They're going to set her up with the overheads. And she has a good roller. And she also has a good push overhead, which I can see, you know, her court awareness is really improving. Ah, nice spot from Mittal. Oh, well, yep. Well done.
But she was close to being over the net there.
15 all.
You know what? But she used that lob. She found that reach. She got Cvetkovic to get behind Caravaggio, and that's what started the sequence and opened up the court.
You see that ball flying in the warm weather. And too deep in the court to be driving that ball.
30 all.
Such a fine balance, Mark, between, you know, keeping your foot on the pedal, going forward, you know, keeping that momentum. You can see that Mittal's got the momentum going, that she's feeling it. And you've got to get that balance and calibrate and just not drive every single ball.
Vantage Caravaggio.
Such a game of momentum. Right now, it's just, 30-all, 2-all. Huge kick serve again.
Caravaggio.
Some surprising errors from Allison Morgan early.
She had a big backswing on that. And Caravaggio's serve kicks, so it's hard, she's got to take it on the rise and she's got to move forward. Okay, here's the replay where you see.
This was just a fun point. Maybe not a well-positioned point, but a fun point.
Right, and that was all about the net positioning, right? Look at the net positioning. So she's got them reaching. Your positioning is so important. You've got to shut down those high percentage 2/3 of the court and make them feel like they have to hit into the opening, which is the low percentage third. You don't want to hedge your bets where you've got to reach on either side of you. Again, listen to the return. That Morgan's volley is a softer sound than the drive that's being ripped at her. That's what you want.
I'm not hitting it. No, that was long. Sorry, that was just long. It was just long. Sorry.
All right, and that's the way to play those deep lobs when you're not sure, is run it down, run with it. Even if you think it's going to be long, just stay with it so that if it does land in, you're in a position where you can play it.
30 love.
There's no damage to losing the net on a day like that. There are no real advantages.
Love.
There's a good job not losing the point on return of serve. She's going to hit a big ball, let it through, play the next one. Head up, Allison Morgan just misses the forehand, but that's a great point for them.
15.
Love how Caravaggio moves that ball around on her forehand. I'm sure you thought he was going to lob that backhand, didn't you, Jerry?
I thought, look at Caravaggio. She is lining up with the ball. If Mittal could see that, she should go down the line. It's wide open. Smart overhead, smart placement. There it is.
Good point.
There it is. I mean, you just
Morgan mid-off scores 3 off.
focus on the net positioning. As a team, you want to be one unit shutting down those 2/3.
We haven't had a lot of these long conversations. We saw a bunch of them in the semis and in Indy 2 weeks ago. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves.
Especially before Cvetkovic is serving. Yeah.
Yep, got that one in. She struggled a little bit in the semis with that.
Love 15. All. $15.30.
I think so far Caravaggio Cvetkovic have done a much better job of kind of sticking with their game plan.
Oh, there's a fist pump with a nicked
30 all.
serve.
An ace.
That'll go a long way. That goes a long way to your confidence. All right, we're tied up. 3-all, 30-all. Playing Australian, Mark.
You think that was a nerves decision, Jerry, or you think that was? I mean,
No, I think that was the right play.
getting hurt that bad on return of serve.
Yeah, different look.
Okay. There's some inexperience over there from Caravaggio. She let that ball play her as opposed to playing it.
30, 40.
Yeah, that ball was definitely slowing down going into the screens.
Had to play that on one wire.
Cut it off. I was surprised she didn't go forward and cut it off.
That would have been fine too. But that's what I say when she let the ball play her.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, generally your choice of letting that ball go into two screens is because it gives you better options. It gives you more time and it gives you more shot selection.
Game Morgan Mittal. They lead 4-3 first set.
Those game points, Jerry, as we've talked about previously, they're just so important. You have to play them well. You have to only do what you do well.
Right.
And there to miss a lob wide on game point, just can't do that. Good serve there from Mittal. So once they get to this point, they're able to neutralize that first ball.
Up 15.
Oh, that's just a sloppy mistake. It just seems like the first team that's going to be iron the sloppy mistakes out of their game is going to be the one that takes control of the match.
Yep, Titan, you've got to take care of the unforced errors. All right, let's take a look at their net positioning now. There we go. And you can see the play as Allison pulled back deep in the service box. And that was one of our keys to victory, Mark, was to test Mittal's overhead when she's pulled out of the service box. And see if she hits something short, then they can bring the ball down, and then that's exactly what Cvetkovic was able to do.
Up 30.
Long.
Up 40.
It's a bunch of breakpoint opportunities here for Caravaggio, Cvetkovic to tie it up at 4-all. And there it is.
Caravaggio, Cvetkovic.
Huge return of serve.
4-all first set.
Cvetkovic, I mean, that is her strength. That is her bread and butter.
Yeah, I just don't like serving like that and coming in behind it to her forehand. And that's what we talked about. One of our keys to victory is not giving away points, letting them win easy points on return to serve. Nothing wrong with serving that way, but then stay back.
Love 15. All.
A great pickup from Mittal there.
Yeah, she read that well.
But that's the ball Caravaggio's got to let go through. I mean, she's literally like 5 feet apart. She had no chance to control that.
15-30.
And that's such a hard thing to learn as a tennis player because you're at a position, you're in trouble, you try and make a stab volley. In tennis, you better make that stab volley because the ball's not coming off the back wire.
Right.
But that was clearly a ball she should have let through. So the pace Morgan hit it, somebody would have chased it down, whether it was herself or her partner. Big moment of the match right here. Just like we talked about in the last match, you got to be willing to set the point up, wait for the right ball to drive. It was emphatically the wrong ball. If that ball goes over the net,
finding that balance, right?
if that ball goes over the net, so what? Back-to-back misses from Morgan and Mittal.
I tell you, I am so impressed with Caravaggio's serving ability. I mean, she is winning points off of her serve because of the depth and the kick. And I mean, she shut down the return in the semifinals with the kick, and we just saw it there again. I mean, Allison really needs to move in and take that ball earlier. She's got a huge backswing on her backhand, so shorten it and just take it on the rise.
So 37 minutes into the first set, Jerry. A lot of fast points, a lot of mistakes early. Neither team really seems to have settled in. Oh, dangerous overhead
Wow.
there.
I held my breath then. I don't know about you, Mark. So that's that short down-up overhead. Middle hits. Cvetkovic can use that ball.
Cvetkovic is kind of in survival mode over there, isn't she?
Yep. That's a better lob. That's it. That's the play.
Great forehand down the line for Cvetkovic.
Smart placement. The overhead, she saw Morgan starting to sneak over. This point of the match, Mark. That's just Caravaggio's she's seeing the court well on those deep. When she's being pulled back, she's not going, except for that one, she's not going for that snappy down-up overhead. She's really getting her feet under and pushing that ball back deep.
And I love that play by Cvetkovic, not giving up the net. I mean, it was a little bit of a low ball. Mittal's forehand is not her better side. She hung in there, made the volley, and won the point. Bold. Yeah, they just keep serving into that Cvetkovic forehand and coming in behind it and losing a lot of points.
And she came in straight. That's why she missed that ball long. She was not square to the angle of where Cvetkovic's drive was coming from. It's hard to, 70 degrees there now, so it's really hard to get that first volley.
But again, there's love 30, 2 points from the set. You just can't miss a lob wide. Those are the mistakes that just come back to haunt you. See if they can overcome it.
15-30.
Okay, regular. Let's see where the serve goes.
She's really hurting him there with return of serve, and they're just not adjusting. Playing a lot of balls to middle, aren't they, Jerry?
Yep. Yep, smart play. That's a little too much speed on that. They've got to watch it because, you know, middle's waiting to rip that backhand.
Oh, middle took off there before Caravaggio even made contact with the ball.
Fast feet, slow hands.
That was
That's where you
fast
see
feet,
the-
fast hands.
Yeah, that's the adrenaline. I mean, you're up there, and like you said, she took off early, but then you don't want to overhit it. You don't want to hit it with too much pace. You just want to find their feet.
Double set point. And conversely, you see Caravaggio hitting a lot of balls. Might be pounding the ball into Cvetkovic's side wire. Really testing her patience over there.
Yeah, but the lobs that they're hitting are making them hit from their overheads from outside of the service box. So tough to get the ball into the screen.
30, 40.
A little too much excitement there on that last drive.
And it looks like they're playing it standard again. After Cvetkovic missed that last forehand, see if they get away with this one. Nope. I just don't understand the failure to adjust there, Jerry.
Caravaggio, Cvetkovic.
Game in first set. Caravaggio, Cvetkovic, 6-4.
Yeah, I think, Mark, they're rolling the dice by doing that. You know, sometimes she misses, sometimes she's making, but clearly Cvetkovic has found her range on that forehand. And so
Rolling
you've
the
got to
dice
take
is
it out of play.
okay. Rolling the
Yeah.
dice is okay, but you want the odds in your favor.
Right, but also you want to recognize who the hot hand is during the match, and that changes. It's constantly changing. I mean,
Guys, you want a new ball or you want to go? Getting one every 7 games, Dad, or no?
No, it's player discretion at this point.
I don't care. That's not in the finals, the field? Do you want to go every 7 games from now on? Well,
you can hear the players. Normally when we have umpires in the Grand Prix, they are putting in a new ball every 7 games.
you want to hit it a
We're
little
going to
bit?
start this second set with a new ball.
A little surprised at how many errors we saw from Allison Morgan that first set, Jerry. I think she's clearly the best player on the court, and she didn't play like it that set.
It's all, for me, it's all about the speed of play. You know, doing what you do best.
Caravaggio to serve.
First set, Caravaggio, Cvetkovic, 6-4.
Cvetkovic. Been practicing, yeah. We had lessons from Brad Easterbrook in the break.
Well, Brad is fluent Croatian, having had Sven Bursch as his assistant.
So he clearly had the advantage on us.
Did you know that Brad grew up in Croatia?
I did not. Is that a fabrication?
I never fabricate.
Yeah,
Spent his formative years there. In fact, I think he's the first Croatian player ever to play for Page Tennis.
Oh, please. Get back to the match. Look at the net positioning here, where they were lucky to get away with that.
15 love.
That's such a hard volley, Jerry. When you're moving in fast like that, it's low.
All right, great angle here. Caravaggio's serve to the ad side. Watch. Not that. I was going to say watch the kick, but you got the left
30
forward.
love.
Another missed return for Morgan.
A lot of fist pumping by Cvetkovic.
But her serve has been remarkably consistent.
40-15.
Big point here, Mark.
Yep.
That
Love to see
first
Caravaggio
game of the
taking her
second
time.
set.
Taking her time here.
Game, Caravaggio, Cvetkovic. They lead 1-love, second set. They won the first 6-4.
What adjustments would you like to see from Mittal and Morgan, Jerry?
I'd like to see Morgan building the point. So she could lob that. I was watching on that net positioning there. I think the middle is open. If she gets the ball, I think she can lob deep cross court over the right-hand player's left shoulder. I'll try to point it out once we get during the point. And I think she can just isolate and go left shoulder, right shoulder combination with her lobs and cause a little bit of confusion. Caravaggio likes to switch to the left. And if she can get that confusion, there'll be opportunities for Mittal to attack. Really create movement in the net team by a combination of lobs. And I'm not seeing that.
Love 15.
I love that play.
Yeah.
So athletic. Recognized it. You know, the court positioning set the whole play up. She was short in the court, able to take the ball early, steal time, and jump on top of them.
Yeah, she read it well, and she read it early.
Big forehand from Caravaggio, and they're getting into a
40.
hole here. And again, that ball's just got to be put back in play.
Are they going to Australian?
Smart move. There's that athleticism again.
Yeah, you just cannot give her that much speed.
Second set, they won the first 6-4.
I would be isolating her. Again, I think that was one of our keys to victory. I would take Caravaggio out and freeze her and put all the balls on Cvetkovic. No pace, deep. The downside of that shot when you're hitting a backside overhead that hard, you're basically giving the baseline player a short ball in the service box. Unless you hit the nick, it's a really risky play.
Boy, Mittal bails herself out there with some great hands. But that was a risky move. Oh, Morgan with the same play. I remember Matt Caravaggio once taking his D6 ladies out and said, this morning we're going to work on lobbing short and blitzing. And they were like, well, why would we do that? And he was like, I don't know, but why did you do that in your league match last week? And that was what Alice Morgan did there. Gosh, when you have a team down, you just hate giving them points like that. Right now, Mittal and Morgan are really struggling to find their way.
Yeah, but I like the fist pump from Mittal. She hit a good lob and got an error. So you have to find the joy in getting your opponents to miss and not just the joy of hitting a winner.
Yep, and there Morgan responds with a good forehand.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 is building the point. Get your opponents to break down.
Game,
And
Morgan
put the
Mittal.
pressure back. And
Caravaggio, Cvetkovic lead the second set 2-1.
a lot of times when you're feeling pressure, you know, the weakest part of your game gets exposed.
I don't know, I thought we were saying that.
And it may not show itself in the sequence of shots, but if you want to get your opponents to feel uncomfortable, get them to hit shots low percentage areas. Both teams having a lot of conversation, Mark.
Yep. This is a really big hold here. Mittal and Morgan to get back in the match. They were gifted that last game a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if they make any adjustments against Cvetkovic.
Love 15.
What would you talk about this long with your partner after your partner just faulted?
Yeah, it's got to be tactics. They're not playing Australian.
There they find the error by changing the formation up. Smart.
I don't know how much these guys have played together. I mean, I know they played Long Island, Mittal and Morgan, but that was like a year ago. They lost in the semis to Cvetkovic and Sabori, but I don't know how much they play. So this, you know, they're maybe still trying to figure it out. And you see, that shows me right there how far she's come as seeing the court as a paddle player. She had that short ball. She saw that Mittal and Morgan had bailed, and she took that backhand, Caravaggio I'm talking about, and just rolled it at a speed that died in the back screen, as opposed to ripping it.
You could see that Cvetkovic is just hitting the ball completely differently when they're in the I formation. Yeah, that's a sucker ball. Just too low to drive that ball.
Yep. And even if she had made it and got it over the net, they would have volleyed behind her.
So now it's like every point we have 20, 25, 30-second conversations.
On both ends.
Yeah, both ends.
Both teams are having a good chat, but
They're
you
staying
see they're
back.
they're changing their positioning on the court.
Smart lob there from Alison Morgan.
Well done, too fast. Caravaggio jumped in front of Cvetkovic and then snapped that volley short and quick. It got caught in the reach. It's that speed of play.
And Mittal got away with driving, I think, 3 balls in a row there, which normally is not the strategy you want to employ. I formation again. But it's amazing the difference in the Cvetkovic return when they're playing the I formation versus normal. She just clearly does not like returning against that formation. That was a big hold right there for Mittal. See if that turns things around for them.
That little 3/4
Off
speed
15.
dip return to serve is so effective. Just Caravaggio having to volley up.
And all of a sudden, things seem to have shifted. A missed volley, fault.
Love 30.
Nice lob by Mittal. Fabulous.
Good position, and reaching
risk,
with the backhand.
well, the risk of
40.
playing the deuce court player's screen when the deuce court player can drive is that your partner has to close the net in case they drive, and now you're vulnerable to being lobbed. And Cvetkovic had to take it as a backhand overhead. The whole thing just opened up for Mittal. Should try it again. And that play is there. That's the sneaky hold Morgan's got off the screen.
She missed that one. You see
Yeah.
her off balance.
Misses it off the deck.
15, 40.
Yep, she's much better off the wires driving the ball than off the deck.
Well, she's tricky. She's tricky off the wire. She can really hold it.
Boy, it seems like every Cvetkovic overhead is a down-up overhead. Big point right here.
Good communicating there.
Well, a little sloppy at the net with their positioning. You could see that Mittal and Morgan were out of position a couple of times there. Got away with it the first couple, but not the last.
Here's the play again. Middle's got to recognize that Caravaggio is close, tight to the net.
Advantage
She
for
just
Caravaggio.
lobs down the line over her left shoulder. She'll open up the court more.
Yeah, even her lobs are just really short, really allowing Caravaggio to control the play.
Well, it's off that first ball when Caravaggio cuts across and cuts that drive off and snaps it quickly to Mittal. That next ball that Mittal gets needs to go up down the line over her left shoulder.
Right there. You could see it because Cvetkovic is so far over to her right. It just opens up the whole court.
I'm trying to tell you, Ma.
Game. Caravaggio, Cvetkovic. They lead 3-2, second set.
Yeah, that was a big hold.
And Jerry, we talked briefly in the semis just how remarkable it is that they've been able to pull this tournament off, given the COVID-19 situation, the concerns, the fact that only residents of Illinois could play in it, no umpires. I mean, just an amazing accomplishment by the APTA. Kudos to Ann Sheedy, Amin Kaderi, Tiernan Kavana, obviously the ENET guys, mostly Diesel, a little bit John Scott, and yourself.
And John Noble, tournament director for the
Absolutely,
Chicago
John
Charities. I mean, he really, we're doing all of this remotely. Normally, our tour director, Jackie Cameron would be there, and the whole commentating staff would be there, and we'd all be, pulling this together face to face. But we're all doing it remotely, and John Noble is wearing a lot of different hats. Yesterday he was even calling the score for us. So.
15 love.
It's really amazing how much they're talking. I mean, I'm going to serve T, let's play I. It's just not that much information to communicate.
All.
And listen to the sound of those volleys. Just, whoa! The last one had a little bit of motion on it. The first two, she had a very quiet paddle.
You so rarely see Alison Morgan miss a volley like that.
Yeah, she just kind of reached a little bit, and that's, like I said, at 70 degrees, that's all it takes to pop that volley long. And
They're going regular formation here again in Cvetkovic.
Yeah, and you can't afford to be off the net at all hitting these volleys.
Now they're changing back to the eye. Another missed volley from Morgan.
15-40.
I'm thinking stay back.
Coming in's not working.
Yeah.
Game. Caravaggio, Cvetkovic.
The ball's just sitting up. The receiver's already got the advantage. You're guaranteed the short ball. You're stepping. You've already got your best shot lined up, ready to go, and it's just a 1-2.
And
you gotta change the channel.
That was one of our keys to victory, is not losing a lot of points on return to serve, and so far they've been very ineffective at that. Made some adjustments against Cvetkovic, but not against Caravaggio. Mittal keeps getting stuck in this pattern right here.
These guys are running out of patience.
Water going down the drain, Jerry?
Yeah, the water is going down the drain, Mike. But these two, Mittal, Morgan, are competitors. They love the battle, great sportsmen. They will fight for every point. No stroppy behavior from these guys. They're just a pleasure. There we go. It's there. I mean, there is openings there, but you've got to use the lob to find them.
Same opening on the other side.
Shift and cover those 2/3.
Catches the nick there.
30, love.
But it's that same pattern over and over again in Mittal's corner.
Correct, 30 love.
See, like here, I don't understand Caravaggio going back to talk to her. Things are going well. You want to play with a little more pace.
Nice play by Mittal. Bread and butter return, follows it in.
they go again.
Yep.
40-15.
A lot of this is related to Mittal just doesn't want to hit that forehand. Got to lob better and swing at the balls that are there to be swung at.
Well, you can see the play.
Not anything surprising here.
Middle's just got to get. That's a better lob. A little bit deeper. Still down the line.
There she stepped in.
Yes.
Stepped in and hit the forehand. I mean, with that down up overhead, that shot's there constantly. She's got to be willing to hit it, though.
Yeah, she's got to. If she lobs a little bit higher, a little bit deeper, and gets them further back first, so that they can't play her screens like that.
Serve there from Cvetkovic, a big point.
That's well placed.
There's a step in for the forehand again. She catches her in the court, hits her.
Well
Great play.
played. Yeah,
Great
well
play from
played.
Caravaggio.
Cvetkovic. They lead 5-2.
Just
second
so many
set.
short
They won the first
lobs.
6-4.
Right, and you're got to use the lob as your playmaker. You're not lobbing because you can't drive the ball.
Well, I'd make one exception there. You shouldn't be lobbing because you can't drive the ball. I would argue with you that she is lobbing because you can't drive the ball.
You want to use that lob to build the point. And as long as you're just lobbing to keep alive, they're going to keep attacking your screens, and you're not using the screens to build the point. It's not playing with an offensive mindset. Every shot should have an offensive mindset, whether you're lobbing out of the screen, lobbing out of the deck, not just when you get a short ball to drive. And that's the fun of that, building the point.
Okay. Mittal will serve to stay in the tournament.
Well, Cvetkovic has done a good job staying in this match.
Yes, she has.
She's hit some good shots, and she's mentally been able to pump herself up, which is one of the question marks that I had.
It's really been Mittal who's been the one who cracked. It's just too far to travel from Morgan. Great volley from
Love, 15.
Cvetkovic there. That's long, and that takes us 2 points for the match, Jerry.
Love, 30.
And interestingly enough, they were in the standard formation there against Cvetkovic, which you wouldn't have expected. Jeez, another long conversation at a big moment of the match. Great lob takes us to triple match point. The problem started there when Mittal stepped in to take the overhead. That wasn't her ball. That was Morgan's ball. Triple match point. Great movement, Caravaggio.
Nice rhythm off the deck.
There it is.
Yes.
Game, set, match. Mittal Morgan, and they're the 2020 Chicago Charities champions.
Match. Caravaggio, Cvetkovic, 6-4, 6-2.
I mean, Sandy Cvetkovic there just came through with her forehands when she needed them, when she got into her rhythm. That bounce hit off the deck. You could see, her laser-like precision. She was able to open up the court. That's 2 big wins for this new team, Caravaggio, Cvetkovic. They won the Lake Forest Championship earlier in the year.
How much question?
Taking out Bodman and O'Neill. So.
Not much question is the best team in Chicago is right now, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that we can, when we get back on track, we'll be able to see all these players from the East Coast and the West Coast, getting together in the tournament. The APTA has done a fabulous job in pivoting and opening up the Grand Prix Tour. We were originally supposed to have 5 tournaments, but when we saw that travel was not going to be a possibility, added 3 more tournaments to the schedule. And we've got 4 tournaments in the Midwest and 4 on the East Coast. And actually, they're gonna grab the winners. We're gonna get a chance to interview them. So we'll just stay on the air while they get to set them up. But Mark, where do we go next? Long Island, right?
Well, I think we're probably going to do the men's tournament after this, right?
No. I mean, after. Yes, we're going to do this.
Long Island, first week in December, the Dwayne Hayden Invitational. I think the women are on Friday, men are on Saturday.
So we're back on the East Coast.
Knock on wood. Hopefully we're going to be at Long Island. I mean, given the COVID numbers, fingers crossed. Although New York is one of the best states right now. Not that you and I living in it has anything to do with it being one of the best states, but it's not unrelated either.
We're following the rules.
We do follow the rules. We are good at
rule
that.
followers.
Okay, so I'll come from Fusion, same thing, and we'll be other.
All right, and that's John Noble on the court. And again, I mean, he really has done a fabulous job of being able to pull this tournament off.
Yeah, we should talk a little bit about the pods that he created. So he knew where everybody was. He tried not to intermingle the players too much, keeping them separate. So if there's any tracing that needed to be done afterwards, really smart, really well handled by John.
Yeah, so normally we would be able to cut over and show like a men's round of 16, but like you said, he has kept the guys at other courts to keep the numbers down here, and once this women's final is finished, the men will be heading over to get ready for the quarterfinal. All kinds of different changes. The hut is off limits to spectators, just the players can run into the bathroom, and just following all the protocols.
And what time are the men's quarters, Jerry? 2:30?
1:30. 1:30 Central.
2:30 Eastern Standard Time?
Yes. All right, so we're just getting instructions that the players are getting set up. They're getting their headsets put on so they'll be able to hear us. We're going to have a chat. I'm sure they're looking to celebrate. There was a lot of hugging going on after that match, Mark. Lots of excitement.
Yeah. Well, Charities champions. That's a big title to win.
That is Grand Prix. And Alison Woodward, she has played now 3 tournaments with 3 different partners, just showing how versatile she is. Her regular partner, she played with Charlotte Sikora, who's from Pennsylvania. They played the tournament in Darien. And then 2 weeks ago, played in Indy, won that tournament with Tunaro, who was a pickup partner, last-minute pickup partner, Mark. And now she's playing with Mittal. Oh, here's our champions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys. Well done. So, look, it was a great match to watch. What was it like to play?
Should I go first?
Yeah, have at it.
Yes, Sandy, you go first. Go ahead. Tell us all about it.
I had a wonderful partner. I cannot ask for anything more. This was quite an adventure this year. Spencer and I got together for Lake Forest Open. We had a great experience. As you know, we won that tournament, so we decided to play Charities together. And again, we repeated winning the tournament, but this one is much bigger as it is a Grand Prix. And I think the teamwork that we have, it's what makes this team good.
Yes, your teamwork definitely showed through. So, Spencer, tell me about the tactics in the match. I know they're telling us it's 70 degrees there. I can see that your face is bright red.
Oh yeah,
So,
I know.
So, tell us about the tactics. What did you go in with the game plan? Did you stay with the game plan? Did you have to make adjustments through the match?
We did for sure. I mean, as we know, Allison is beyond athletic and so quick and fast and can dig anything out, and both big backhands. So I've played Chelsea twice in the last 3 weeks, so we know that she drives a ton, and so I knew I had to be super tight, and that was kind of our plan, was to kind of bait Chelsea into some drives with me up and Sandy there, or back to take some overheads, and then just really lobbing down the line as much as we could, or having Sandy lob down the line and me cross so that we could set my backhand in the middle and also get them off the net. They're both incredible volleyers on top, but from a little bit further back, it's a little bit easier for us to blitz, or hopefully they miss one or whatever it is. So that's pretty much what we did.
This is exactly what we did. And yes, we
same
did
thing.
have that strategy, and it paid off.
Yes.
And do you guys? I don't know what you're all playing in the league matches, so you're very familiar with each other's games. Is it do you play other times together?
We do, especially because most of us don't play tournaments with our league partners. So we all play each other in the league, but then we'll get together and play some practice matches just to get some reps in, especially with new partners. And I mean, I guess it gives you a little bit of a look into what everyone does well and doesn't, but also it's just kind of our time to try new shots and work different things. So it gives you a little bit of a look, but yeah, I mean, we play a lot. That's the nice thing about Chicago.
Yeah, there is a lot of strong teams there. It's fun to be actually able to showcase so many of the Illinois women players, during these times. So Sandy, you're the veteran on the team, right? You've got the experience.
I am.
It seemed like you guys were having a lot of chatting in between the points.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the norm? Are you telling her what to do, or what's happening there?
Yeah, that was deliberate. I wanted to slow down the pace a little bit, and I wanted to have a clear strategy, what we want to do before the point starts, instead of just reacting to the ball. And I think that all paid off, that we kind of like, we were always on the same page what we need to do.
And just she is the most supportive partner ever. Like, I could miss 17 shots in a row, and she's like, "You're fabulous." So, but also she just, because it's my first one, like my adrenaline was pumping so much. So most of the time we were talking too, it was just like, breathe. You're holding your breath, breathe, so you can think.
Well,
and
you know what? That's good to know, because Mark Fisher, who I think he wants to jump in here with a question, he was just wondering what were you talking about so much? So, Mark, there you go. They were just talking about their breathing.
I thought they were making dinner plans, actually.
well, we haven't gotten there yet. We said we were talked occasionally, but crack a joke here or there. But it's more just her like calming me down and not getting too high or too low, just neutral before every point, so that we can go in clear-headed.
Well, it clearly worked, and I have enjoyed watching you play. Both of you guys. Sandy, I haven't seen you play in a while, but I remember that laser forehand.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and Spencer, you're a fun addition to the women's tour.
Oh,
I hear
thanks.
that you're practicing hard, so we're enjoying watching the progress.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Any plans for future tournaments?
Oh, yeah. I mean, nationals, anything else we can play, we will. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do anything without her. It's Mama Bear on the team, so.
I feel like she's my baby on the paddle court.
She does. Every time I win a point or lose something, she calls me baby in the middle of it. So it's awesome.
That's a good balance. It looks like a good balance. Well, congratulations, Mark. You got any questions you want to throw in?
Love
there,
seeing the chemistry between you guys, and it just seemed like you're really happy to be playing together, and that's obviously one of the keys to winning.
It is.
Yes.
It's been awesome. Key is to pick a good partner, so then I can just ride her coattails.
All right. Well, congratulations, guys. Go celebrate, and we look forward to following you on the tour.
Thank
All right,
you.
great. Thank you so
Have a
much.
good one,
Congrats
guys.
again, guys.
Thanks.
Oh.
Oops.
Okay, so we'll be back at 2:30 Eastern Time with the men's quarterfinal. And that's an approximate time, but we'll get something up on the board as we get closer to that time, Jerry.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Fun doing the match with you, and we'll chat later.
Always a pleasure. That's a wrap.